Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to talk about a business that looks simple, helpful, and familiar on the surface, but is much deeper once you study how it works. Rent to own. At first glance, it looks like a furniture or appliance store that simply helps people get what they need without paying all at once. A couch, a bed, a refrigerator, that new plasma television. All of it feels tied to comfort, family life, and home stability. But underneath that surface is a much different business model. This is not only about home goods, it is about turning immediate household need into a long term payment path. Most people think rent to own is mainly about flexibility. They see a storefront, they see furniture and appliances, and they think this is just an easier way to get things for the home. It feels more accessible than your traditional retail because the upfront costs are smaller and the barriers seem lower. The message is simple. If you need something now, you can take it home now. That is the visible story. But the hidden story is that this model often makes its money not from the price tag alone, but from the repeated payments attached to possession over time. Let's get right to the center of this business model. The language says, get it today and no credit needed. That is very powerful language because it shifts the customer mind away from the total cost and towards immediate gratification and relief. The item is not being sold primarily through ownership logic. It is being sold through access logic. The customer is thinking, I could solve my problem today. The business is thinking, this item can begin generating payments today. So the visible product is that couch, bed, or television set. The hidden business is the recurring payment path wrapped around that electronic item. This model works wonderfully because home life cannot always wait for better finances. A bed may be needed now. A refrigerator may fail now. A family may move into a new place now. The customer often does not have the luxury of saving for months and months or qualifying for your traditional financing. This is why rent to own remains so compelling. It fills the gap between household urgency and financial limitation. In that sense, the model solves a very real problem, but it solves that problem by stretching the cost across time in a way that can become much more expensive than the item first appears. The showroom matters because rent to own does not just sell necessity, it also sells aspiration. The showroom is designed to show the customer what home could look like right now: a complete living room, a better looking bedroom, a more comfortable space, a more put together life. That emotional pull matters because the customer is not only buying a product, they are buying a feeling of stability, dignity, and comfort. And once that feeling becomes attached to that item, the payment path becomes that much easier to accept. One of the hidden operational truths of the business is the delivery truck. Rent to own is not just a showroom, it is also a delivery and recovery system. The item must be moved into the customer's home quickly because speed is part of the value proposition. But if payments fail, the same business may also need to recover that item, repair it, and place it back again for resale. That is why this model is so different from ordinary retail. The product is not just sold, it remains part of an ongoing managed relationship. This advertisement captures the necessity very clearly of rent to own. A washer and dryer are not just abstract lifestyle items, they are tied to household function. When a family sees a weekly price instead of a full purchase price, the offer feels manageable. This is part of the strategy. Weekly payment language lowers resistance because it makes the solution feel immediate and affordable. But the deeper question is always this: what will the customer actually pay by the end of that full path? This advertisement is one of the clearest visual statements of the whole presentation. It promises a fully furnished home starting from a small weekly payment. That is the heart of rent to own. The customer get possession right away, but ownership is delayed and stretched across time. The business make the item feel emotionally close and financially light in the short term, while the long term total cost quietly grows exponentially. So, this is not simply financing in the traditional sense, it is delayed ownership built through repeated access payments. Your rental purchase storefront reminds us that rent to own has its own language. It often avoids framing itself as high cost credit and instead presents itself as a rental purchase, lease ownership, or flexible home furnishings. That matters because language shape how the customer interprets the deal. If it sounds flexible, easy, and low pressure, it can feel safer than debt, even when the total cost becomes substantial. The business is not just managing product, it is managing perceptions. The final takeaway is that rent to own businesses do much more than place furniture and appliances into homes. They turn household necessity, low cash reserve, and delayed ownership into recurring payment streams backed by merchandise control. This is what makes this such a strong and forceful hidden business model. The visible product is the home good. The hidden business is the payment path attached to it. So the final question is this: is rent to own truly a flexible path to ownership? Or is it a business where immediate comfort is exchanged for long term overpayments? Thank you.